array. We have natin the index, the element, and the size. Tatlo yan. Every time that we're trying to create our array, we need those three. Let's go first with the index. When we say index, this will be the address, no, or your identifier of your elements, no. We always tend to start our index to 0. Diba? Lagi siya nagsisimula kay 0. Right? So, si index yung ginagamit natin if we want to display an output. Kung gusto mong palabasin yung element mo, you need to identify its index. Okay? What else? The next one is the element. Yan. Pag sinabi nating element, si element is yung value sa loob ng array natin. Right? Siya yung laman. No, yan yung numerical values that we have or even characters that we have on our square brackets or curly braces. Ayan po yung pinapalabas natin on our program. Then the size will be the size of your array. Now, ang basis mo ng size will be the number of elements na meron ka on your array. So you need to take note of these three. Yan, yung tatlo na yan. Because pag mawala yung isa dyan, most probably there will be an error on your program. So we need to make sure that every time you create your array, no, we need to have these three parts. Okay? Now, in Python, we do have two types of array. No? Meron tayong array and list. Dalawa yan. Alright? O sir, ano ba yung difference ni array tsaka ni list? Si array, yung una, ito yung gagawin natin today. Array is used if you want to store numerical values. Alright? Take note of that. In Python, guys, no? In Python, we tend to use the array itself if we want to store numerical values. Decimal, floating numbers, integer. Pag string yung gusto mong i-store, no? Or string yung gusto mong, or yung string yung gagamitin mo on your program, si list yung pwede mong gamitin. Alright? So, iba yung array na ginagamit natin if string ang values mo. Iba rin yung array na gagamitin mo if numerical value yung gagamitin natin. Right? So, array is intended for numerical values. And list is for string values. Lagi niyong tandaan yan, guys. Alright? Sa Python, ganyan po. Okay, but in other languages, di ba? For example, in Java, you can use array, no, for both integer and number. Dito iba, kahiwalay. Pag string ang gamit mo, list ang applicable. Pag array, numerical values. Okay? Now, and also, yung declaration natin ng array dito, guys, in Python is different. Iba yung itsura niya or iba yung syntax na ginagamit natin. Now, let's try to do that, no? If you're using or if you will use array, you need to import it as ARR. So, nag-import ako, import array as ARR. Yung ARR, guys, alias yan. Para later on, pa nag-declare tayo ng array natin, hindi na masyadong mahaba yung ita-type nating function. Okay? Now, for example, A is equals to ARR.array. Then, open and close parentheses. Inside of this array na i-declare natin, we have two parameters. Okay? Yung unang parameter natin dito, guys, is the type of data na i-input mo. If it is string, float, double, or char. Yes, doable si char dito, guys. O, balikan natin yung char na data type. Pag sinabi natin char na data type, single character lang yung pwede mong ma-store. Kaya nakalagay sa list, string values. Mahabang string yan. Okay? Now, again, you need to identify or to put the desired data type na gagamitin mo. So, right now, ang target natin is integer. So, for integer array, yung first parameter mo on your array function, you can put letter I. Yan, letter I. Indication na integer siya. Then, followed by the set of your elements. For example, 1, 2, 3. Yan. Ganyan mag-declare ng array kay Python. Okay? So, you have your variable equals the ARR module of the array, then the function array, yung I will be the identifier, what will be the data type of your elements, and yung naka-square brackets dito guys is the elements itself. You need to take note the syntax guys kasi medyo iba talaga yung syntax niya kay Python tsaka sa ibang language na nagamit niyo before. Okay? Now, let's try to have another example. Let's say I will put num variable arr.array. This time, lagay tayo ng floating numbers. Pag floating numbers or floating values, you can use letter F. Then, comma, square brackets, 1.2, 2.2, 4.5, and 2.8. For float, yan ang gamit natin. Letter F naman. For double, ARR, letter D. Okay, so square brackets, 2.1, lagay tayo ng 6.5, 3.4, and 7.1. Yan. For double. For car, meron tayong car guys. Again, pag car, you can only store single characters. Let's say for example, A, B, letter C, and letter D. Yan. Ang gamit naman natin guys, lagay natin, square brackets. So, ang gamit natin na identifier for character is letter U. Tandaan niyo yan. I for integer, F for float, letter D for double, letter U for characters. Now, try natin display. Kapag magdi-display tayo, guys, alam nyo na to, you just need to call the array variable followed by the square brackets. Then, sa loob ng square brackets, lagay natin yung index number. I've mentioned that the index number or index value will start at 0. So, kung titignan natin guys, lahat ng elements natin, pare-parehas lang yung index number niyan. 0, 1, 2, 3. Kasi tiga-apat lang naman na elements yung nilagay natin. Let's say for example, kay A, display natin si 0. Kay num, display natin si index 1. Kay val, display natin si index 2. And kay B, display natin si index number 3. Try to run this. Now, if we run our program, as you can see, ayan, check nyo yung array. 1 for index 0, ayan yun. 2.2. So, don't get confused kung humaba yung 2.2 natin, guys. Kapag floating numbers talaga, or float, ganyan yung magiging output. Pero ito lang yan, guys, 2.2. Pwede naman natin laruin yan. Bawasan ng decimal if ever. Now, 3.4. Ayan, dito yan. 3.4, tapos letter D. Okay? So, that is on how you can able to display our elements. Ayan yung manual way. Okay? Alright, now, let's try to display everything or every element here by the use of for loop. Diba? Kung naalala nyo pa yung for loop dito, guys. Diba? We have, or we can able to use the for loop for us to display all of those elements. So let's say, for example, palabasin natin si elements ni A. So for I in range, len A. Ayan. Then, print A, square brackets I, comma, lagay tayo ng end separator. Para meron siyang spaces in between. Now, the idea here is, sa for loop mo, gumamit ka ng range. Obviously, para malaman mo kung ilan yung size. Then we have the len function. So, kung babalik tayo sa string function na diniscuss natin ng midterm, guys, len function is used to count the number of elements or characters in a string or in an array. Now, instead na ilagay natin dito 4, which is obviously, mag-work naman yan, na pag nira natin yan, gagana yan. 1, 2, 3, 4. We created or we put len function. O sir, bakit len function yung nilagay mo instead of 4? Because if you want to change the elements, for example, magdagdag ka, hindi mo na kailangan baguhin yung range mo. What you can do is maglagay ka ng len and si compiler na yung bahalang magbibilang ng elements mo. So pag niran natin to right now, lalabas pa rin yung elements. Diba? Mas efficient. When it comes to code efficiency, mas efficient na gamitin si len function. Kasi si compiler na yung binibigyan mo ng, or kay compiler mo na binibigay yung pagbibilang ng size. Hindi ka na yung maglalagay ng static na value. Let's say, lagay natin dito size of A. Pwede natin lagyan yan. Size of array at array A. Okay mo dyan, len A. Diba? Para pag nira natin siya, makikita nyo ang size niya is, nakalagay, 8. Size of array A is 8. Kasi ito yung elements. Ganyan yung pwede natin gawin, guys. No? Para hindi na tayo naglalagay ng numbers, numerical value sa range mo. Hindi ka na mahirapan magbilang. Especially if marami yung elements. Ilan na yung bahala. Okay? Try natin i-display si num, val, and d. So we can copy this. Tayo ng print dito para may space. Ayan, copy natin. Si array num. Baguhin lang natin yung variable. Num and si number. Ayan. Pag nira natin to guys, ayan na, dalawa na. Size of array num, which is float. Ilan yung float natin? Ito, 1, 2.2, 4.5, tsaka 2.7. Ganyan guys. Stats. Float. Same with val. Again, pwede mo lang print. Pwede na tayo mag-copy-paste. Si val naman yung gamitin ninyo. Si val. Then, si len function. Val. This one will become val. Size of array val. Run ulit natin. As you can see, ayan, yung size ng array is 4. Then, lumabas yung values or yung elements that we have for array val. Then, last one is si array b. Diba? Meron tayong array b dyan. Array b naman, display natin. Array b. Pag nira natin yan, ayan, ABCD. Nalabas siya. So, pag dinagdagan niyo yan ng value guys, wala namang magiging problema diyan. Dinagdagan ka ng isa, dagdagan ko rin 'to. Dagdagan din natin 'to. At parehas ko silang dinagdagan lahat, still mag-a-adjust na po yung program natin or yung for loop natin. Because, again, gumamit ka ng len function. Hindi ka na mahihirapan magbilang or magbago ng code mo. No, kasi hindi na naka-static yung value ng range. Nakadepende na siya sa number of elements that you have on your array. So, dynamic na siya tignan. Alright? Dynamic na yung dating. Alright, so I think we're good with that, no? Dito sa displaying of array elements. So, ang takeaways natin dito guys, ayan, yung pag-declare natin ng array. So again, iba siya dun sa traditional way na pag-declare ng array natin. Okay? Now, next example is, let's try to have user input. When we say user input, gawin natin, si user yung magsiset ng size, si user din yung mag-input ng elements. Yes, no, doable yun guys. Pwede natin gawin yan. Okay? Tanggalin ko muna to. Then, lagay tayo ng array natin. Lagyan natin si val. Val equals arr.array. Integer na lang yung gamitin natin. Then, we make it empty. Ayan, empty array. Walang laman. Alright, so again, ang target natin dito, si user yung magsiset ng size. Si user din yung magsiset ng laman ng array natin. Okay? Now, what we can do is, lagay tayo ng variable size, input, enter size of the array. Lagay tayo ng size. Alright? So, si user na yung magde-decide. Pwedeng 5, 10, 3, or any other size. Okay? After that, create tayo ng loop. Yung loop natin will able to help us to iterate yung number of times ng paglagay natin ng elements. So, for I in range size. Yan. Kanina, ang gamit natin is yung length nung elements kasi may laman eh. Ito ngayon, wala tayong laman. Now, ang gagawin natin, kukunin natin yung variable size kasi kung ilan yung value ng size, yun din naman yung number of elements na mapapasok mo dun sa array mo. Kaya ginamit natin si size. And as you can see, si line 6 is naka-integer. So, wala naman tayong magiging problem with the input. So, inside of your for loop, pwede ka na maglagay dyan ng equals int input, enter array, array element. Yan. Then, val.append. Yan. So we have here a function na ginamit natin which is append. Append function in Python is used to insert elements that was inputted by the user going to the array sa array mo. Going to your array. Ang mangyari dyan, si append, magpapasok lang yan. Mag-feed lang yan na mag-feed ng array elements. Kung ano yung input mo sa num, line 8, i-append yung magpapasok niyan sa array. Okay? Now, let's try to display. Now, there is another way on how you can able to display your array, guys. Type mo lang print val. Try natin. Run. Asking siya ng size ng array. Let's say 5. So, maglalagay ka ng array element. So, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. Ayan, kung titignan nyo guys, yung output natin is different from the output earlier. Ang nakalagay is the array itself followed by the identifier kung ano yung data type na gagamitin, followed by the elements. So, structure. No? Yung structure ng array yung dinidisplay kapag ginamit mo si line 11. Right? So, kanina kasi ang ginamit natin, ganito. For I in range, bagay din yung gamit natin kanina, len val. Tapos, tsaka ka nag-print, val, square brackets I, then, end attribute. Ganyan yung ginawa natin kanina. Which is, ang magiging output niya is ganito. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yan. Check niyo yung difference. Diba? Pag yung line 11 yung gamit mong display ng output mo, yung structure ng array, no, kasama dun sa display. Pero pag ginamit mo is yung nasa line 12 and line 13 na output, yung elements lang yung i-display niya. Alright? So, ganun po yung difference ng dalawang display. Good. Ayan. So, ang takeaway natin dito guys on how we can able to use the inputs or user inputs for us to si user na yung magde-decide ng size tsaka ng elements. Kanina kasi static lang siya. Tapos itong append function. Again, append function is used to insert elements inside of your array. Then ito, yung two types ng display. Line 11 is the structure of the array. Line 12 and 13 is it will display the elements. Okay? Now, what else? Also, in Python, you can remove your elements. No? Ito yung isa sa mga functions na wala sa ibang languages. You can able to remove elements inside of your array. Let's say, for example, print ko ulit si Val. Before, ang gagawin natin dito, we will display the array elements or the array before we delete, then after we delete. Now, in Python, we have two functions. Take note, we have two functions on how you can able to delete an element. Yung una is si pop. So, print the pop natin. The pop element is meron kang val.pop. Tapos, print ulit natin si val. Print val para makita natin yung before and after. Tapos, maglagay ulit tayo ng isa pang pop. Dalawang pop yung ilagay natin. Then, another print val. Para makita natin ng obvious kung ano yung mangyayari pag nag-pop tayo ng dalawang beses. Okay? So, run natin yung program. Let's say, ang size natin right now, set natin ng 5. 5. Tapos, maglalagay ako ng numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, yung unang val, line 11, ito yun. Lagyan natin ng print. Bakanting print. Para new line. Dito natin. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Check natin. Again, itong naka-highlight, ito yung line 11. Yung line 12 and 13, ayan, yung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Itong line na itong naka-highlight right now is line 15. Nag-pop ako, gumamit ako ng pop function. The pop element is 5. Tapos yung pangalawang pop is 4. Diba? That is on how you can able to remove an element. Now, kung naaalala pa natin guys, sa data structure, naalala nyo pa yung data structure nyo, di ba meron tayong topic na stack? Diba? Si stack. Si stack, meron siyang dalawang function, si push tsaka si pop. 'di ba? Yung concept ng pop dito sa Python is almost the same dun sa concept ng pop ni data structure. 'Di ba? 'Pag nag-stack ka, yung pinaka-top yung pinaka-top element mo, yung top value mo, yung unang matatanggal kapag nag-pop ka. Yan, ganyan sa stack, 'di ba? Mag-i-input ka ng value, yung lahat ng pag-input mo is galing sa taas, pa-stack. Now, if you want to remove an element or value, si pop yung function na ginagamit. So, ganun din yung concept dito, guys. Kaya kung titignan nyo, guys, nasa rightmost part nung element sa array yung nadidelete. Kasi si 5 yung nasa top. Pinap mo siya, nawala na si 5. Nag-pop ka ulit, nawala si 4. Pag mag-pop ulit tayo, si 3 yung mawawala dyan. Kasi si 3 yung nasa taas. Kapag nawala si 3, nag-pop ka ulit, si 2 naman yung mawawala. Diba? Yun yung idea ni stack sa data structure. In-apply lang po natin dito, guys, sa function na .pop. Yan. Tandaan natin, guys, si pop, lagi siyang nagdi-delete on the top part of your elements. Kung ano yung pinakahuling pinatong niya or nilagay niyang element. Okay? Now, the other one is, meron pang isang function pang remove. May pang delete ng elements. Meron tayong function na val.remove. Yan, val.remove. Now, si val.remove, you need to specify what particular element yung gusto mong tanggalin. Let's say, for example, you want to remove the element number 3. Element, guys, when we say element, value 3. Hindi yan index. Value yan. So, meaning, pagka .remove ang gamit mo, you will specify what will be the elements. No, what element yung gusto mong tanggalin. Ayan, sa case natin right now, ang tatanggalin natin is yung element 3 or value 3. Now, try natin after, meron tayong before and after. So, ito yung before. Lagyan natin ng after. Okay? So, lagay natin yung for loop. Yung for na lang ilagay natin para makita niya rin yung difference. Len val. For I in range colon print val square brackets I comma end. Yan. So, ang idea dito, guys, still magti-take effect si pop. After ni pop, pag may nakita siyang number 3 dun sa elements, tatanggalin niya. Pag natanggal niya, i-display niya yung bagong elements na wala na yung number 3. Try natin. And size ng array, let's say again, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ulit yung ilagay natin. Tignan nyo. Nag-pop tayo, tinanggal natin si 5. Nag-pop ulit tayo, tinanggal natin si number 4. Ito yung natirang elements. Tapos nung gumamit tayo ng val.remove, ito na lang yung natirang elements, number 1 and 2. Diba? Nawala na yung number 3. Yan yung number 3. Now, before, meron siyang 3. After you use the val.remove, yung line 21 natin on our program, naging dalawa na lang yung element, 1 and 2. Okay, so that is on how you can able to remove or delete an element here in your array. You can use pop, you can use remove. So magdedepende na lang yan, guys, kung ano yung nasa test cases. So pag sinabi ng test cases, kung ano yung laging ma-delete yung nasa rightmost part na element, pwede kang gumamit ng pop. Pag sinabi naman ni user or pag sinabi naman na merong specified number on an array na madi-delete, yan, pwede kang gumamit ng val.remove.